Hello, welcome to another C3 Stingray video. Today I'm going to take the steering column out of a C4 Corvette. The big problem with these C4 Corvettes is they're really hard to get out of, and a lot of people, when they're getting out, they tend to put their hand up here and push themselves out, and eventually it screws up the steering column because it just wears it out. And you'll notice, probably yours, you bought one or whatever, and it's all jiggly, and it's because whoever owned it before was using this to get in and out of the car instead of taking their other hand, and open the door and put your hand down here and push yourself out, which is how you should do it. But a lot of people don't do that, and eventually the steering column gets screwed up and it gets really loose and wiggly, and then you got to take it out and get it rebuilt. And you can save yourself some money by taking it out yourself, or if you're wanting to replace it, or whatever reason why you're wanting to take a steering column out. I'm going to show you step by step on how to do that. And I'm going to take it out of this 89 parts car I have, and let's do it. Now my 89 parts car doesn't have the cover that goes over the pinch bolt that holds the column to the shaft, the steering shaft. So I'm showing you the one on my 84. It's a cover, it looks like this. There's a 7mm screw right here, and you take that out and then you just flip that piece on the bottom to open it up, and it slides right off. Underneath is a 13mm bolt, and this is the pinch bolt that holds it to the steering shaft, your column to the steering shaft. Once you remove this, your column will be free from the steering shaft. It just slides right off once that bolt's out. Next, we're going to go under the dash for the plastic hush panel. There are 3 Phillips screws and a push retainer. Mine is missing one of the screws, and it's also missing the push retainer that was in the back. As you can see, it just came right out, but there should be a retainer in the back. I'll show you that in a second. You gotta disconnect this light also, the wiring from the light, and now you can take this out. But there should have been a retaining clip right here. It just pushes up. That's what the clip looks like. It just pushes up. You can pry it off with a screwdriver. Show you where it goes. It's all the way in the back. That's what holds that plastic panel up in the back. It's a little like rigid shaft right there, and you just push that clip over that spot in the back of the plastic hush panel. Next, we're going to take out the knee bolster pad. There are 3 Phillips screws, 2 in the front and 1 on the side, and there's also 2 13mm bolts that are up in these holes. You can feel the holes, and you're just gonna have to get an extension and a 13mm socket and shove up there and pull these 2 bolts out. Now, you should have taken out the 7mm screw that holds the ALDL connector off. I did not do that. I forgot. As you can see, the ALDL is still connected to this. All it's held on with is one 7mm screw. You can just take that out. As you can see, there it is off now. I already took it out, but the screw went through there, and then that part just kind of twists over and connects. It's easy to get off. You should probably take it off before you take the knee bolster out, though. Now I'm going for the 2 nuts that are on the base of the steering column. Kind of holds it to the firewall. These are 13mm nuts. Here's the second one. You can see there's holes there to get to these nuts. The holes really aren't big enough to get to the nuts, but if you put your socket on there and push, you'll grab and it'll come out. This one actually gets stuck in there. I had to get some pliers to pull it out of there. Now I also take out the gas pedal, 2 10mm nuts that hold that on, and you don't have to take the cable loose, just let it hang. I take it out. It's easier to get the steering column out with that out of the way. You might be able to get it out without taking that off. I'm not sure. For some reason I always do it because it's just easier. But I guess you could try without taking it off and see what happens, but I'm pretty sure you gotta take it off. Also remove the tilt lever. This just unscrews right out of the column, because if you don't, when that drops down, it's gonna hit there and you could break something, you can mess up your tilt, you can screw something up. To me, this is the hardest part of the whole job, just disconnecting all the wires from the steering column itself. There are a lot of wires. I'm not going to try to tell you what each one is because I really don't even know what each one is, but all you have to do is feel around the column and you can see, or you can watch what I'm doing here and you can pretty much see where every connection is. As you see, I use a little flathead screwdriver to kind of pop mine loose because sometimes those clips have been on there since 1989. They don't want to open up real easy. It's also easier for me here because there's no door on the car, so it's a little bit easier for me to get in here. It's a little more difficult when you got a door there in the way. You gotta contort yourself, and as you can see here, I really had to contort myself to get in there to get these ones that are right against the column. It's difficult to get in there and get them. You might want to take your seat out. You really don't have to, but some people, I mean, it just depends on how big you are. I've been known to lay upside down on my seat and slide underneath and do it that way. All right, now we're going to take out these two 15mm bolts. And you think we're about done, but wait, no, there are going to be more wires once we get these bolts out. These wires, I tell you. Yeah, you might want to hold against your column because it will just drop down once you get these bolts out. You're going to need to disconnect this little rod. It just pulls right off. There's a little ball there that kind of snaps over. So you can pop that right off. But then down lower, it's also held in with a little rubber clip onto the steering column. So you're going to have to take that off too. So you don't yank that all out with the column when you pull it out. Now there's more wirings on top of the steering column. These come out pretty easy. I mean, getting to them is the hardest part. They pop out of there pretty easy. Those you just kind of push down little tabs and pull them out. And now everything is disconnected from the steering column. So now you just kind of twist it a little bit and pull it out. And voila, there's your steering column. Well, thanks for watching this C3 Stingray video. Hopefully you found it of some use. I try to keep my videos short and to the point and give as much information as I possibly can to make the job easier for anyone who's trying to do it. I'm going to be parting out this 89 Corvette. I have a 96 Corvette and I hope to get to a 76 Corvette that I'm not parting out. Well, I'm kind of parting out. I'm kind of putting one together and taking one apart. But if you're needing any information on anything, you're wanting to figure out how to take something apart, you're wanting more information on it, just drop me a line and maybe I can make that a future video. Otherwise, please subscribe to the channel, see any new videos coming out. I'm putting a lot up lately. This is probably my 5th one in the last 3 weeks. So there's a lot of stuff going up. And if you need any new or used parts for your C3, C4, or C5 Corvette, check out my website at c3stingray.com. And I guess that's it. I will see you on the road.